If you clean up after them, you might be living with a narcissist. Let me ask you something. Real quick, no sugar. When did filth become a flex? When did not flushing, not cleaning, not brushing your teeth for 3 days become some kind of twisted power play? You ever walk into a house and feel like it smells like disrespect? Yeah, that's not laziness. That's a message. It's loud, it's clear, and it's coated in mold and hair, and the same crusty dishes that have been in the sink since Nixon resigned. See, the average person will say, they're just messy. But if you've danced with a narcissist, if you've lived with one, loved one, survived one, you know better. You know that dirt isn't random, it's ritual. They don't forget to clean. They refuse to. Because if they can make you live in their chaos, they win. If every pile of laundry is a silent command, every dirty plate is a challenge. You gonna clean that, or what? And when you do, when you pick up after them like some background character in their life movie, they don't thank you, they don't notice, they expect it. Because in their world, dumb and filth isn't just mess. So let's break it down. Not all narcissists show up in tailored suits and fake charm. Some of them come armed with spoiled milk and an attitude. And that brings me to the first red flag you've probably been scrubbing around without even realizing it. Firstly, filth as a message. You clean it. You walk into the kitchen. Bam. Last week's spaghetti is staging a protest in the sink. A moldy cup of coffee's doing time in the bathroom. There's a half-eaten sandwich on the bookshelf. And the narcissist, feet up, remote in hand, not a care in the world. Now, you might think, maybe they're just tired. No. That's the lie you tell yourself to survive. The truth, they're watching. They're waiting. Because that mess, that's bait. And you're the one they're daring to bite. See? The narcissist doesn't clean because they believe you will. And every time you do, it confirms the story in their head. I don't have to. You will. This isn't about hygiene. It's about hierarchy. It's about control. You scrubbing their filth while they scroll TikTok. That's a power move, not an oversight. And if you don't clean it, then you're the problem. Suddenly it's your fault the place is disgusting. Classic narcissistic reversal. So remember, when mess becomes a pattern, it's no longer random. It's scripted. And you're not living in their house. You're living in their game. Want to play? Or finally walk off the board? Your move. A second, grooming grenades and domestic disrespect. You ever walk into the bathroom and it looks like someone shaved a beer in there? Sink full of hair, mirror dotted like a crime scene. Soap clinging to beard strands like it's begging for mercy. This ain't just mess. This is territory. The narcissist trims, clips, sheds and then walks out like they just did the world a favor. And you're the cleanup crew. The invisible servant in their private castle. They know they left a mess. Don't fall for that "oops, I forgot" crap. No, they meant to leave it. Why? Because cleaning up after them reminds you who's boss. It's not about being messy. It's about reminding you who owns the space. And who cleans it. And don't get me started on laundry. Socks exploding like landmines. They underwear flung next to the hamper like it almost made the shot. Almost. Don't count. But to them, that's your job now. Because in their mind, mess equals power. And the bigger the mess, the louder the message. You exist to manage me. And if you don't, now you're the bad guy. That's the trap. Third, nose picking as power play. This one's hard to even say out loud without gagging. But you need to hear it. The narcissist doesn't just pick their nose. They stage it. They perform. It's like some disgusting Broadway show. And you're front row, baby. They dig, they flick, they smear. And they know you're watching. That's the whole point. This isn't private embarrassment. It's public dominance. They're testing how much filth you'll tolerate before you speak up. And if you don't, you just handed over another inch of your dignity. Sometimes they even rope others into the ritual. Hey, check if I got it all. They say, like you're their personal snot consultant. And if you hesitate, boom, your sleeve becomes their tissue. No warning, no shame, just full-blown invasion. This ain't about hygiene. It's about power. It's about saying, I get to violate your space, your senses, your sanity, and you won't do a damn thing. Well, fourth, boundary, breaking with your belongings. You know what's sacred? Your toothbrush. It's yours. You don't loan it out. You don't swap it, don't share it, but when you're with a narcissist, even your toothbrush becomes theirs. Razor. Use calm. Borrowed. Gone. No asking. No apology. Just damp bristles and a smile that says, what are you gonna do about it? That's not forgetfulness. That's theft. It's psychological trespassing. Because when they use your stuff without permission, they're not just crossing a line. They're erasing it. They're reminding you that your boundaries Optional, your things, community property. And your reaction, that's just another performance they get to watch. So when you find your lotion half used, your deodorant warm, your towel wet and out of place, remember they're not being careless. They're making a point. And that point is simple. Nothing is yours in this house. They not even your dignity. You still think that's just being messy. Or is it finally looking like war? Fifth, hygiene as performance, not principle. Let's get one thing straight, narcissists don't hate showers. They hate irrelevance. If there's no audience, no performance, they'll marinate in their own funk for days, and you'll sit next to them wondering if something died and they're wearing it. But soon as they've got a meeting, somebody to impress, suddenly they're Mr. Clean, scrubbing, plucking, flossing, spritzing like they're prepping for a cologne commercial. And not for health, not for basic decency, for optics, for control, because looking clean makes them look put together, powerful, desirable. See the dirt at home, that's their real face. The cologne in public, that's their mask. And guess who they reserve the rot for? You. You who sees them with the mask off. You. Aren't who gets the stench and the sweat and the scum under the nails. That's not love, that's neglect dressed up in ego. They are, so don't be fooled by the transformation when they step outside. They don't clean because they value themselves. They clean because they value being seen. Sixth, farts and burps as psychological warfare. Let's cut the polite nonsense. We all fart, we all burp. We're human. But narcissists, they don't just do it, like grenades. Timed, placed, delivered with eye contact and a smirk. Right in the middle of a meal. Right when the room goes quiet. Auditory terrorism. And the worst part, they act like it's normal. It's natural. Yeah. So is taking a dump. But you don't do it in the living room. This is about control. They want to own the atmosphere. Your comfort. Collateral damage. You're there sipping coffee, trying to breathe, and they're weaponizing digestion like they're fighting in some kind of gas war. Why? Because if they can pollute the room, and you don't say anything, they've just won. They own the silence. They control the mood. They get to do what they want while you sit there and choke. This ain't about manners. It's about dominance. And if you laugh it off, flinch, or say nothing, they do it again. Loader. Because they're not just clearing their throat, they're marking territory. Seventh, the exit strategy. Let's land this with a gut punch. All these little habits, not little, not random, not innocent. Every dirty dish, every stolen razor, every nose pick in plain sight. It's covert warfare. A test to see how much of your dignity you'll give up before you finally say, enough. Because once you've cleaned their filth, tolerated their smell, watched them perform for the world while decaying at home, what's left? You. Tired. Diminished. That questioning whether your standards are the problem. But they're not. You're not crazy. You're not uptight. You're being trained. Slowly, to expect less, to accept less, to become less. So what do? You wake up, you see the game for what it is. And you leave. Not just the room, but the entire damn dynamic. Because dignity isn't a luxury, it's the entry fee for peace. And if someone makes you scrub it out of the walls just to survive, they don't deserve the luxury of your presence. Let the door hit them. Let it bruise. And never look back. Let's stop calling this hygiene. Let's stop pretending this is some harmless slob who just forgot. No, this is strategy. This is dominance camouflaged as laziness. Filth as a tool, the or shame as a leash. And every time you wipe the sink, wash their dishes, or pretend that their burp wasn't an emotional sucker punch, you're playing their game. You're helping them build a castle out of your silence. But you don't have to stay in it. You're allowed to draw the line. You're allowed to say, not in my house. Not in my mind, not anymore. Because the minute you start seeing these red flags for what they are, psychological warfare, you get your power back. Not all at once, but piece by piece. And by the end of it, you're no longer the maid, the scapegoat, the silent cleaner. You're the one who walked out, head high, dignity intact, door slammed. And if this hit home, like the video, drop a comment, let it out. Subscribe to the channel for more truth, more fire, more unfiltered survival tools. And don't forget to check out the next video, because your peace is earned, and we're just getting started.